Most people think they will finally feel rich when they make more money, but then the raise comes, the promotion comes, the business grows, the bank balance gets bigger than it used to be, and somehow the feeling never arrives. At first, you think the problem is the number. You tell yourself, if I could just make a little more, I would relax. If I could just get past this income level, I would stop worrying. If I could just pay off this one thing, move into a better place, buy a better car, take care of my family, or build a bigger emergency fund, then I would finally feel safe. But for many people, the moment they reach the number they used to dream about, their mind quietly moves the goalpost. What used to look like success starts to feel normal. What used to feel like extra starts to feel necessary. What used to feel like freedom starts to feel like the minimum acceptable version of life. This is one of the hidden reasons you never feel rich. Your financial life is not only measured by income, it is measured by the gap between what you have and what your mind now believes you should have. And that gap can grow even while your income rises. A person can double their salary and still feel behind because their reference point doubles with it. They stop comparing themselves to the person they used to be and start comparing themselves to people who earn more, spend more, own more, travel more, invest more, and appear to have figured life out better than they have. This is why feeling rich is so slippery. Wealth is partly a number, but the feeling of wealth is a relationship between your resources, your expectations, your obligations, and your sense of control. If your expectations rise faster than your resources, you can become richer on paper and poorer in your own mind. If your obligations rise faster than your income, you can earn more and still feel trapped. If your lifestyle expands every time your income expands, you may never experience the peace you thought money would give you because every new dollar already has a job before it reaches your account. The hidden danger is not wanting a better life. Wanting comfort, quality, stability, and dignity is normal. The danger is that your definition of normal keeps upgrading without your permission. A nicer apartment becomes normal. A better phone becomes normal. More expensive groceries become normal. Eating out becomes normal. Subscriptions become normal. Delivery becomes normal. Bigger vacations become normal. A higher car payment becomes normal. Once these things become normal, cutting back no longer feels like saving money. It feels like losing status, losing comfort, or moving backward. That is when income growth stops creating freedom and starts maintaining an image of progress. The strange part is that this process usually does not feel reckless while it is happening. It feels reasonable. It feels deserved. It feels like catching up. After years of working hard, you tell yourself you should not still live like a beginner. After a raise, you tell yourself you should enjoy life a little. After stress, you tell yourself you need convenience. After seeing other people's lives online, you tell yourself your life should look better too. None of these thoughts are crazy by themselves. The problem is what happens when every category of life gets permission to rise at the same time. Housing rises, transportation rises, food rises, entertainment rises, clothing rises, insurance rises, gifts rise, vacations rise, your standards rise, your social circle changes, your idea of embarrassment changes, your idea of enough changes, and then one day, you look at your income and wonder why it still does not feel like enough. The answer is that money did increase, but so did the cost of being you. This is the part many people miss. They think the question is, how much do I earn? But the better question is, how much does my life require every month before I get to feel free? If your life requires almost all of your income to keep running, then a high income can still feel fragile. You may look successful from the outside, but inside, you know that one job loss, one emergency, one medical bill, one family problem, or one bad month could shake everything. That is not financial peace. That is performance pressure with nicer furniture. Feeling rich does not come from spending at the edge of your income. It comes from having margin. Margin is the money that is not already claimed. Margin is the difference between your income and your obligations. Margin is the space that lets you say no. It lets you leave a bad job, handle a surprise expense, wait for a better opportunity, help someone without panic, invest without fear, and sleep without calculating every bill in your head. Without margin, even a large income can feel like a cage. With margin, even a modest income can feel surprisingly powerful. This is why some people who make less feel calmer than people who make more. They are not necessarily richer in absolute terms, but they may have more control over their monthly life. They may have fewer fixed payments, fewer automatic charges, fewer status obligations, fewer debts, and fewer expensive identities to maintain. They may not have the flashiest lifestyle, but they have something many high earners secretly want: breathing room. The modern economy is very good at taking away breathing room in small, painless pieces. It does not usually ask you to ruin your finances in one dramatic decision. It asks for $20 a month here, $70 a month there, a slightly better plan, a slightly newer car, a slightly larger apartment, a slightly easier service, a slightly more premium version of something you already had. Each individual decision feels harmless because it fits inside your monthly payment capacity. But wealth is not destroyed only by huge mistakes. It is also drained by normal-looking commitments that stack quietly until your future income is already spent. The payment looks small, but the obligation is real. The subscription looks cheap, but the habit is real. The upgrade looks deserved, but the new baseline is real. Once your baseline rises, going back feels painful, and that pain is exactly why you feel less free than your income suggests. Another hidden reason you never feel rich is that your brain adapts quickly to improvement but slowly to risk. When your income goes up, the excitement fades. When your lifestyle goes up, the new cost stays. The first month of a better apartment feels amazing. 6 months later, it is just where you live. The first week with a new car feels exciting. A year later, it is just transportation with a payment attached. The first expensive vacation feels unforgettable. Soon, it becomes the kind of vacation you now expect. This is called adaptation, and it means that spending often gives a short emotional lift while creating a long financial responsibility. You get used to the pleasure, but your bank account still has to carry the cost. This is why buying a richer life can fail to make you feel rich. The feeling fades, but the bills remain. And when the bills remain, you need the same income or more, just to avoid feeling like you are falling backward. A raise should increase your options, but if every raise increases your fixed costs, the raise becomes less like freedom and more like a requirement. You do not own the raise anymore. The lifestyle owns it. There is also a psychological trap inside comparison. People rarely compare their full life to someone else's full life. They compare their behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's highlighted category. You compare your apartment to someone's house, your car to someone's luxury car, your vacation to someone's beach trip, your savings to someone's investment screenshot, your work stress to someone's business success, your ordinary week to someone's best moment. But you do not see their debt, their family help, their anxiety, their payments, their timing, their risk, their private trade-offs, or the parts of their life they are not proud of. Comparison gives you a fake financial scoreboard, and once you accept that scoreboard, you can feel behind even while doing objectively well. The painful part is that the comparison never ends, because there is always someone above you in the category you choose. If you earn $50,000, someone earns $100,000. If you earn $100,000, someone earns $200,000. If you earn $200,000, someone has equity, a business, inheritance, property, or a lifestyle that makes your success feel smaller. If your peace depends on outranking everyone around you, peace will always be out of reach. You do not need to win every comparison to build wealth. You need to know which game you are playing. Some people are playing the status game. Some are playing the freedom game. The status game asks, how does my life look compared to others? The freedom game asks, how much of my life do I actually control? These two games often require opposite decisions. Status may push you toward visible spending. Freedom may push you toward invisible strength. Status wants the car people notice. Freedom wants the payment you can easily handle or avoid. Status wants the home that proves you made it. Freedom wants housing that leaves room to breathe. Status wants luxury now. Freedom wants options later. Status can make you look rich while making you fragile. Freedom can make you look ordinary while making you powerful. The problem is that status is easier to see, so it gets more applause. Freedom is quiet. Nobody claps when you keep your fixed costs low. Nobody praises you for not upgrading your phone. Nobody sees the subscription you canceled, the loan you avoided, the cheaper apartment you chose, the emergency fund you protected, or the investments you made instead of buying something impressive. But those quiet choices are often where real wealth begins. Real wealth is not just what people can see. Real wealth is the part of your financial life that keeps working when nobody is watching. It is the money that gives you patience. It is the savings that give you calm. It is the low monthly obligation that gives you flexibility. It is the investment you forgot about because you did not need to touch it. It is the ability to survive a bad season without destroying your future. That kind of wealth does not always create instant pride, but it creates durable confidence. And confidence is much closer to feeling rich than attention is. Many people never feel rich because they skip the confidence stage and chase the attention stage. They want the symbols of wealth before building the structure of wealth. But symbols are expensive to maintain. Structure is what pays you back. A symbol says, look what I can buy. Structure says, look what I can survive. A symbol impresses other people. Structure protects future you. A symbol can be financed. Structure has to be built. This is why two people with the same income can live completely different financial lives. One person uses income to buy identity. The other uses income to buy freedom. One turns every raise into a bigger lifestyle. The other turns every raise into a bigger gap between income and expenses. One feels successful for a moment and pressured for years. The other may feel boring for a while and powerful later. The difference is not intelligence, it is direction. Every dollar is moving you toward either dependency or freedom. The tricky part is that dependency can feel comfortable at first. A bigger lifestyle feels like progress. Easy payments feel like flexibility. Convenience feels like relief. But if those comforts require constant income, they can become a hidden employer. You may technically work for your company, but emotionally, you work for your rent, your car, your subscriptions, your debt, your expectations, and your fear of looking like you moved backward. That is why some people say they make good money but still feel poor. They are not poor in the traditional sense, but they are overcommitted. Their money arrives and immediately leaves. Their income is high, but their unclaimed money is low. Their lifestyle looks upgraded, but their choices feel limited. If you want to feel richer, you do not only need to ask how to make more. You need to ask what is already claiming your future income. Look at every recurring cost. Look at every loan. Look at every subscription. Look at every habit that became automatic. Look at every category where your spending increased simply because your income increased. Then ask a harder question. If my income dropped by 20% tomorrow, what part of my lifestyle would suddenly feel dangerous? That question reveals the difference between comfort and fragility. Comfort is fine when it is supported by margin. Fragility is comfort that collapses without perfect income. The goal is not to live scared. The goal is to stop confusing expensive normal with security. You can enjoy your money and still protect yourself. You can buy nice things and still build wealth. You can upgrade parts of your life without upgrading every part at once. The key is intentionality. When your income rises, do not let your lifestyle automatically absorb the entire raise. Decide in advance where the increase will go. Some can go to enjoyment, because life is not a spreadsheet. Some should go to savings, because peace needs a foundation. Some should go to investment, because future you deserves a share. Some should go to debt reduction, because every payment you remove gives you back a piece of your life. The mistake is not spending. The mistake is spending without preserving margin. Margin is what turns income into wealth. Without margin, money is just passing through. Another reason you never feel rich is that you may be measuring wealth only by possessions instead of by time. A person with a nicer car but no free time may not feel rich. A person with a beautiful home but constant stress may not feel rich. A person with expensive clothes but no emergency fund may not feel rich. A person with high income but no ability to rest may not feel rich. Time is one of the deepest forms of wealth because time is where life actually happens. Money that buys back time can make you feel wealthy if it reduces pressure without creating dangerous obligations. But money that buys symbols while stealing future time can make you feel poorer. Every monthly payment is a claim on future hours. Every debt payment is future labor already assigned. Every fixed cost is a small promise that tomorrow's income has already been spoken for. When too many future hours are already sold, you feel trapped, even if today looks comfortable. This is why total cost matters more than monthly affordability. The monthly payment tells you whether you can squeeze something into your current life. The total cost tells you how much future life you are giving away. A small payment can hide a large commitment. A low monthly price can make an expensive decision feel harmless, but your future does not experience the payment as marketing. Your future experiences it as less choice. If you want to feel richer, start respecting your future income as much as your current income. Do not give it away casually. Do not let every convenience, upgrade, and desire become a permanent claim on money you have not earned yet. Protect some of your future for freedom. Protect some of your future for opportunity. Protect some of your future for the version of you who may want different things than you want today. One of the most powerful financial questions is not, "Can I afford this?" It is, "Do I want this cost to become part of my life?" Affordability is a low standard. Many things are affordable in isolation. The problem is the stack. A car payment is affordable. A phone payment is affordable. A streaming service is affordable. A delivery habit is affordable. A gym membership is affordable. A premium app is affordable. A little credit card balance is affordable. But together, they can turn your financial life into a narrow hallway. You can still move, but not freely. Feeling rich requires width. It requires room to make choices without panic. It requires a life where not every dollar is already assigned. That width is built by saying no to some things you could technically afford, so you can say yes to things that matter more. This is difficult because modern culture teaches you to treat unused spending capacity as wasted life. If you can afford a better apartment, why not? If you can afford a nicer car, why not? If you can afford the trip, why not? If you can afford the upgrade, why not? But unused spending capacity is not waste. It is power. It is optionality. It is the invisible asset that lets you breathe. It is what separates someone who looks rich from someone who feels secure. The ability to spend is not the same as the wisdom to keep capacity unused. Wealth often grows in the space between what you can spend and what you choose not to spend. That space may look boring today, but later it becomes freedom, investment, resilience, and peace. The people who never feel rich often have no space because every improvement in income becomes an improvement in lifestyle. The people who eventually feel rich protect the space. They let income rise while keeping some standards stable. They allow themselves controlled upgrades, not automatic upgrades. They choose the few comforts that genuinely improve life and ignore the rest. They understand that not every desire deserves a monthly bill. They understand that feeling deprived is not always a sign that they need more. Sometimes it is a sign that their expectations have been trained by comparison, advertising, stress, and habit. This does not mean you should live a joyless life. It means your spending should pass through a better filter. Does this purchase reduce real stress, or does it distract me from stress for one evening? Does it support the life I actually want, or does it support the image I want others to see? Does it create freedom, or does it create another obligation? Will I still value this in 6 months, or will it become invisible while the cost remains? Am I buying this from strength, or am I buying it because I feel behind? These questions slow down the automatic upgrade machine. They help you separate real value from financial noise. They remind you that the goal is not to appear rich for a moment. The goal is to build a life that feels strong when nobody is applauding. If you have been earning more but still do not feel rich, do not automatically shame yourself. Shame usually makes people avoid their numbers, and avoidance makes the problem worse. Instead, get curious. Track where the raise went. Track what became normal. Track which payments are fixed and which are flexible. Track how much money is truly unclaimed after necessities, debt, savings, and commitments. That number matters. Your income is the headline, but your unclaimed money is the story. If the story is weak, the solution is not always a bigger headline. Sometimes the solution is editing the story. Cancel what you no longer value. Negotiate what can be lowered. Stop financing things that do not increase your real quality of life. Delay upgrades until they no longer threaten your margin. Build an emergency fund that is boring enough to work. Invest before lifestyle has a chance to absorb everything. And most importantly, choose a definition of enough before the world chooses one for you. Without a definition of enough, more will never feel like enough. You will keep chasing a moving target, and every achievement will quickly become the new starting line. Enough does not mean you stop growing. Enough means you stop letting growth be controlled by comparison. Enough means you can enjoy progress without immediately turning it into pressure. Enough means you can say, "This is comfortable, and I do not need to convert every extra dollar into proof that I am doing better." That mindset is rare because it requires independence. It requires you to disappoint the version of yourself that wants instant validation. It requires you to let some people misunderstand your choices. It requires you to look less impressive than you could look so you can become more secure than people can see. But this is where the feeling of wealth begins to appear. Not all at once, not like a dramatic transformation, more like a quiet shift. You notice that a bill does not scare you the way it used to. You notice that a bad day at work does not feel like financial disaster. You notice that you can wait before buying. You notice that you can help someone without draining yourself. You notice that you can enjoy simple things without feeling behind. You notice that money is no longer only a source of pressure, it is becoming a source of choice. That is the hidden form of being rich. It is not just having more. It is needing less from every dollar to feel okay. It is having a life that does not collapse when you stop upgrading it. It is owning your time, your attention, your future income, and your standards. So if you want to feel richer, do not only chase the next income level. Protect the gap. Protect your margin. Protect your future hours. Protect your definition of enough. Let some raises become freedom instead of lifestyle. Let some money stay unclaimed. Let some choices remain open. Because the moment you stop spending every dollar trying to look like you made it, you finally give yourself a chance to feel like you are free.